Nick is the intro guy.
All right. I'll do that.
Well, Junior be intro guy and introduce himself.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wiki-linkS. I'm Junior. I wasn't here last episode. I'm replacing Braden. So you can call me Braden. I'm not as buff, though.
That's true.
I was watching last week's episode, and Braden was like sitting
He was sitting in that on purpose, bro. He's
like,
not actually that.
Just looking at his big, like, hot muscles.
He's doing this thing.
Oh, they're like,
so
incest.
Like, he's just, like, so hot.
And
Fine.
like, Braden's the only one of us that's like healthy. And
He's like,
we're all
technically
just
you
like-
can do incest and it's awesome.
That's
yeah, that was a weird topic.
He was gonna watch this video of us roasting him. The
Here's the
first
thing, we
episode.
cut out like 20 minutes of that discussion. For real.
We went on.
There was already like 15 minutes of it.
Yeah, it was a rabbit hole.
I'm the first fan of the show, really. I listen to the first episode and be like, all right, let's take this on from a viewer perspective. But now I'm here with my lovely co-hosts. Let's everyone introduce yourselves.
I'm Jake Winkle.
I'm Malcolm Hatfield.
I'm Alex.
Hatfield.
And I'm Nick.
And I'm Junior Nelson. This is Wiki-linkS. And we're just going to break down some Wikipedia articles and then go over some interesting stories. And today we have a special one. And Jake, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Mm-hmm. So it's Marvin Heemeyer. Heemeyer? Heemeyer?
I think it's Heemeyer. You saw the documentary. What they said.
Heemeyer. So the last part is Meyer, but it's
Heemeyer.
Heemeyer. I've been saying Heemeyer.
Do you think that there's a Marvin Heemeyer?
Marvin Heemeyer.
I don't think we should mess with pronouns on this one. So he was a automobile muffler repair shop owner, and he is the builder of what is called the Killdozer. And so, in just a small town called Granby in Colorado, he went on a rampage. How long was it? 3 hours? 3 hour rampage?
I did like 2.5.
Like 2.5. We'll round up to 3. We'll give him it. 3. He made it 3 hours.
A 3 hour rampage.
In a custom armored bulldozer that he made.
It was a tank.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it was a tank. It was a tank.
It was like an NPC.
He
Yeah.
made a custom tank.
And so, what buildings did he tear down? He tore down the police station.
Police station, town hall, the mayor's house.
Yeah, frick the mayor.
and then the concrete plant.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
the
that he had a
construction
feud with.
zone of the concrete plant. And then the hardware store.
What a wild. Okay. First
And
of all,
the news outlet.
Yeah.
That like reported poorly about it.
And like he had like a
okay.
list. He was gonna try to take out some other people's homes that like went against him and stuff.
He was
but-
going out on Craigslist and he just...
First of all, I just want to say, a muffler repairman. I feel like that's like, this is real because if this was like a movie or a show, they just make him like a mechanic or something.
Yeah.
Not a muffler repair person.
I didn't know that
If
there
I were
was
him, I would have
muffler.
done I would have fashioned it into like a giant muffler. Like make it look like, a
sign,
giant
make a
muffler.
giant
That's
sign.
what everyone knows. They're like, oh, it's the muffler guy. He's coming.
It's the
There's like
muffler
a-
man.
The
There's a
muffler man. The muffler man.
Muffler man?
Man.
No.
I think he should have made it a big giant person, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like
Like
It's like a
Giant.
transformer.
yeah, like a big Voltron or something like that.
It's
yeah.
a mech.
Mech suit. Yeah, it's like an alien's.
On top, he has like an advertisement, like 50% off your muffler repairs after this.
We're laughing, but he killed himself.
Yeah.
He
He
did.
died.
Yeah.
But it was all part of the plan. And he went out exactly how
Just
it-
because
Hey,
it's part
he
of the plan
boosted
doesn't
muffler
make it a
sales
good
worldwide.
thing.
Well, that's what's also crazy is if you read in the article a little bit, it says that the way that he sealed it, they're like he didn't plan on getting
Yeah.
out.
He didn't.
He just
didn't
locked
think he was
himself
gonna
in
do it.
there.
He literally took a crane to lower it. So he got inside it, and there's a big metal piece, and he literally had like a crane that he just basically lowered it onto him. So it was just like. And then,
So
Yeah.
and then he literally in his shop he drove through the wall. He was not coming back to his shop. He was
Like
like
his shop is gone.
what? So what were his motivations? Let's go over that.
okay, we'll go over that.
go,
Anyone want to go over that?
I actually am super curious too, because at least from what I read in the article, I wasn't like, I feel like the article itself wasn't super clear on it, other than he just had some bone to pick with the city.
Yeah,
I think it was written by someone in the city because
Yeah,
I watched a
article didn't
YouTube
feel
video
very
on
fair.
It felt a little biased, if I'm being
yeah,
honest.
it feels a little biased.
And it's
Kind of
really-
leaves out some stuff.
that first part of the article sort of just like breezes over the whole like,
It
initial
breezes
part of
over
the
it.
dispute.
Too
Like,
long
where
to read.
I was curious to see like sort of like what was the time frame, or like when did he like realize that like they were gonna build this place and that they're gonna like, I didn't even realize they're gonna bulldoze his shop, right?
Were they?
They were gonna build a road or something over his shop.
No.
I don't think
So-
so.
No, that sounds
So
like
what
that
happened-
sounds like the plot to a movie. It's
Yeah.
like a Hallmark.
That's
movie.
Goonies, isn't it?
That's good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
take-
he's-
And then he took a bulldozer and took them out.
Took them out.
So he had the
Which, by the way, you can't plant concrete. It's a rock. It feels like start off there. The city was wrong.
But they always grow those towers though, which feels like a trunk of a
That's
tree.
true.
So the concrete company, they bought the property where he had his access road to his muffler shop for years.
Okay.
And they bought that property when they're like, we're building a plant here, like, and he's like, well, I need access to my muffler shop. And I mean, typically what they do is they just you go to the city, and then I mean you're allowed access, like you have a right to
It's a
access
right.
to your property.
So how
Pretty,
would
it's a
you would
pretty
have had
reasonable thing.
No
It's the
access
Fourth
at all.
Amendment.
No, so they built it, and I mean, it kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of of the opinion that this guy Marvin wasn't such a bad guy, in my opinion. It's really just like
He didn't hurt nobody.
he
Well,
he was
did
actually
he
a really good
purposely
guy
hit-
most of
did
his
he-
life.
Did he purposely hurt nobody?
I don't
That's the
think so.
question.
That
Yeah.
is a debate.
I think he could have easily. He had guns and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I think he could.
How was he supposed to know there was no one in the buildings he went for?
I feel like
People
that's
were,
a
like,
that's a debate you
evacuating
could really
as
get
he
into,
rolled
because I
out.
do feel like he didn't have motivation to just murder civilians and stuff, but also
If he had been
he
playing
definitely like
the ice cream
very
truck
easily
music
could have.
when he came around, like
He could have taken out a bunch of kids. Dude.
So, did you guys see the documentary on Netflix about
I
it?
didn't watch
I
it.
heard about it.
So I watched it.
It's
I
relative
watched
to
it.
Hell yeah, right?
It's like 2020.
Yeah.
Do they paint him as like a psychopath? Because I feel like he's
No.
not a psychopath.
They interview his ex-girlfriend that he broke up with like 6 months before he went on this rampage.
Oh wow.
His like old friend that he used to like snowmobile with. This young kid that was like he was like the father figure to this kid.
Dude, Iron Man 3.
And then like every single person he had a beef with in the entire town.
He's really like a Tony Stark figure.
So it's his motivation's weird though, because he's just out there alone, had never had a family, living out in this tiny ass little town, and he was just like getting so fed up with this beef with this construction company, this concrete company, and he felt like the local like law was just kind of like totally doing him dirty, and he's just
Which-
sitting. Which might be true.
They were doing him dirty.
They were probably doing him dirty. I
They're
think
probably
most of
so
the
tied in with the concrete company.
one of the things he couldn't. I think when they put the concrete factory there, they actually made it so that he couldn't run his sewage anymore. They took out like his
Yeah.
sewage line or
Yeah.
something, and then the
So he had
city.
to poop in his hand and carry it outside.
yeah, for
Well, anyway, the
years.
city started fining him for not having access to sewage.
And it was
like
a
just,
hefty
and it was just
amount.
kind of a random thing. It's like, I mean, this
like you
isn't
could
like
you could get that on so many people probably.
yeah, you could get that on so many people. It was just kind of like a very specific like it. The way I read this article like last week. The way I read it, it was very specific and like targeted, and it was just
Yeah.
kind of like.
Yeah.
It just really seemed like the concrete people. And I want to know if they have any like family relations.
Like, who would the author
Like
be?
the concrete
They
people and the
don't,
city
but
officials
it's close.
just seem like they're in cahoots, and I'm kind of like,
Wow.
So,
it's
he
like in
asked
Red Dead
them.
where,
He
like, the
asked that
company-
concrete company if he could do sewage like link on to their sewage so he could get around these fees, and that guy said he couldn't. And he's like, okay, so they basically just like roadblocked him and then just started giving
Yeah.
him fees every day.
And
so
it's probably
thi-
way
this
more
is a-
profitable for the city to have that concrete.
But like, it's weird to me that like these. It's funny how small towns can be just as corrupt as like big, huge
Yeah,
governments.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's like
Like the scale of it all.
the scale's so small. Like these concrete people are making money, but it's not really helping the city. It's like helping a couple people. It's just like
Well, I mean, almost in these small jurisdictions, when there's no like connecting cities, they almost have more power. And it's just
No,
like the
for
old saying,
sure.
it's like
That's true.
power corrupts and absolute power corrupts
so
absolute.
there's nothing to
So
check
it's like,
them either.
Yeah.
There's no check. There's like you can't really like. I mean, it's just kind of like you're so isolated.
Like,
I heard
who
about
would be
it,
the,
like,
who would
from
be the
there-
whistleblower?
I heard about
Yeah.
this small town. It was
Yeah.
like a pretty religious town where they banned dancing for years. And that's like talk about corrupt.
Is that Provo?
I'm gonna make a
They
dance
banned dancing
dozer.
for years
Yeah,
until,
until
a band of young
young-
students got
Oh.
together
and they
And
fight
they-
back.
They created a dance dozer and drove it around
They
for 2
convinced
hours.
And they
the
killed
local
people and
pastor,
were dancing.
which is like his girlfriend's dad, you know,
Yeah.
to change things about the city because you know it's really all about love
yeah.
and,
what?
It's about cutting loose.
and
Foot
your
loose.
feet being loose.
But I just wanted to backtrack and say that the fees he was getting subsequently were pretty hefty. It was $2,500
A day?
I don't know if a day. All it says here is he was subsequently fined $250 by the town council and city judge for various violations, and because he was initially unable to connect the sewer line.
$250?
But was
I don't understand why they wouldn't let him connect the
2,500.
sewer
Yeah.
line.
it would have cost him $80,000 of his own money to connect to the sewer line.
Yeah.
That's why like no one was probably buying that property. He got for like what $25,000 or $40,000.
He got it for like $40,000. Like,
that's
do you know how
cheap.
much he sold it for at the end of all of it?
300 and something.
400,000.
Oh wow.
Which makes me think like, how much like? Come on, man, it can't be that bad.
Yeah, just take that profit. and
Just take
run.
that profit, move to a different town, start a different muffler
Do a
shop.
different muffler
You don't need
shop.
to like sit there in your freaking thing and
I think
machine
he was-
this
he
thing to
was-
kill people.
So you're telling me that he built an actual APC and demolished buildings may have been a little bit of a...
I think it was maybe a bit of
An overreaction.
An overreaction.
Yeah, I'll say this. Like, it seems like one of those things where you're like, he got screwed by like corrupt people, you know, rich people picking on the little
Oh, for
guy.
sure.
But he did build his own tank. It feels- there's something a little bit wrong with him.
So do you know when the idea hit him? I found this out in the doc. It was so epic, dude. He's like just sitting there in his hot tub up in the hills, just pissed off, and then he's like, and then God spoke to me and told me
yes.
that like this is why you were never married. This is why you're in this town. This is why you have nothing to lose. It's so that you can build this tank and show these guys.
Kill us.
Subsequently, for this podcast,
So does he call it the Killdozer or is that a nickname?
No, that was applied after. I wish you would have.
after.
and
Like,
that was in
I
the
will
anime
build.
remake.
Look,
The Killdozer.
He built this Killdozer in a cave with a box of scraps.
Well, dude, it's funny is I've been trying to find a way to slip that reference into my life recently, and you just stole it from me.
What were you saying though?
Someone named it the Killdozer after the rampage, and
Yeah.
he didn't kill anyone.
He
I
didn't kill
know.
anyone.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
for the anime
But come on,
remake.
I feel like that's-
Smash
I feel like
Dozer
that's-
sounds good.
Smash, dude.
Smash Dozer doesn't
Back to
sound
the
as
local
cool.
news. The local news is against him. They're
They
just
are.
like it's the Killdozer. I mean, that's just.
They definitely had it
They're
out
just
for him.
spreading
To be fair-
misinformation.
There were guns pointing out of it,
Yeah, there were.
There were.
and
he
he
didn't-
smashed multiple buildings.
He
The
didn't
only
shoot anyone,
person he
though.
ever killed was himself.
Yeah, so technically Killdozer.
He killed the guy who destroyed the town.
You gotta give him credit.
That's true. That brings it back up to neutral.
It's like
for
Hitler.
sure.
Yeah.
Hitler ended up killing the guy who started World War II.
That's true. He killed Hitler. Gotta give Hitler credit on that.
Some points up there.
But who among us hasn't had God speak to them in a hot tub?
That's
Wait, was
a
he in a
good
hot
point.
tub?
Yeah, it's,
It sounds right, man.
And so he did these audio recordings, right?
yeah.
Give his whole explanation.
Mhm.
I want to listen to that. You're like,
Are they in the doc?
Some of them, they cut some of them. There's like 3 hours of recordings.
Oh.
Yeah, I listened to someone on YouTube, and they're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah, but an hour of
Made
it's
some
just
good points.
an hour of it's just a stand-up routine he was working on.
We'll put a link
It's
in the
not
description
that
for
good.
those if we can find it.
Yeah, we'll
Great.
What's the deal with watermelons?
He's like, concrete plant? They can't plant concrete. What's the deal?
But the other wild thing, that at least what I read, was while he was constructing it, it took him 1.5 years, and he just like had it chilling in his
his
His,
thing.
Oh, yeah,
thing,
I
and,
read
like,
that-
people would like see it and walk by.
Well, I'll
was
be
it?
honest. If I went into my buddy's shop and there was a big chunk of metal with like, I don't know, I wouldn't think he's gonna go on a rampage with some
Yeah.
Killdozer.
Yeah, that
But
makes
it's-
you.
like,
That
he said
didn't
don't
have, like,
even
it
talk to him about
It didn't have like spikes on it. I'd be like, dude, that's cool. Like
Spikes.
you're.
It says the Killdozer on the side.
Well, it's like
that?
it is kind of one of those things that's like that might be a testament to how he wasn't necessarily that openly crazy. Because
He
if
brought
I
people
saw
in
it
his
in one,
shop.
if you guys had a shop and I saw one of you guys had a big ass, because they said like he said like, yeah, no one really thought anything, even though like multiple people saw it being built. Like, and it's like if I saw any of you guys building that, I'd think, well, he must be building like a fun thing. I don't know. But like if I can think of multiple people in my life that if I saw them building that, I would be worried. I'd probably
Well, you know,
put in
that's-
I'd
you know
call
how-
an anonymous tip and it'd be like, something sketchy's happening.
Well, you know how you can just like
Danny.
explain it completely. You just say zombie apocalypse. You're like, dude,
That's
there's a zombie
true.
apocalypse coming. Even if they think
Yeah,
you're
but I-
crazy, it's a 100%. They're like, oh yeah.
No, yeah.
I
still think crazy,
Doomsday
but
Prepper
he's
label
scared of-
explains
If
everything.
that guy just sat on that for a while, waited till like Walking Dead came out, he could have pulled that out into like the city square, and people could have taken pictures out in front of it.
What a stupid phase of our
You know what's
existence,
stupid?
by the way, the zombie apocalypse phase, where people are like, what would you do in a zombie apocalypse? What would I do
All
if the
of-
dead rose from their
All
graves?
of 2011 to like 2014, everyone cared about was zombies.
Nerds, dude. Nerds were like, well, you can't shoot guns because the zombies can hear you. So you have to be an expert with the katana. And you're like, oh no.
I
You're
started
buying a
studying
katana
the
on
blade.
Walmart.com.
Blade and
Studying the
shurikens.
Yeah.
Those gas station sword guys that collect all these like
100%,
different blades.
Gas station sword guys. That's so specific, and I see the guy. I see him in my head right now.
Yeah,
You know he agrees.
Ponytail. So they
What
got
house do you
PlayStation
think
Plus.
Heemeyer would have been in?
Oh,
Because I don't think he's a Slytherin necessarily. I think
Yeah,
that
he
he seems too driven by morals.
Oh,
He's a
dude,
Hufflepuff.
listen, the dude's chaotic good for sure. If I were to put his like chaotic good, so honestly, I'd probably put him either Hufflepuff or maybe even Gryffindor.
I don't know.
Oh,
He's
wow.
He's a Gryffindor.
He's certainly not as nihilistic as Slytherin. He
He's
seems
not
to have
Slytherin.
some sort of beliefs.
It's
Like,
like,
people
do you think
didn't
Hufflepuff
look at this
or
guy.
like maybe Ravenclaw? I don't know.
What if this
I
was a
could see
false
Hufflepuff's
flag?
not building a
Because
killer.
like Ravenclaw would be smart enough for him to actually make the thing.
Here's a
Which-
theory. What if it's a false flag by the CIA to ban Killdozer builds?
Construction.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
To ban
Yeah, do you know
building
he
your own
only
tanks.
he bought like an 80% tank is what he started with.
It's like they're like, yeah, no more high capacity tanks.
What I've never thought about is a lot of construction material could just easily be turned into weapons. These companies, they would build almost entirely like, oh, I do like tables. I build tables and I build tables real good. And then during the war, all of a sudden they switch into like building like airplanes.
Oh, like, yeah.
yeah. That's true.
Like Singer sewing machines making
Yeah.
guns and stuff. Yeah.
And so like you could totally have
what about the army pianos?
army pianos. Yeah, there was a whole story that me and Malcolm went off one time where it's like these guys that would make pianos, and then during the war they'd like do some plane parts and random things, but they really made their money making pianos for the army that they would drop out of airplanes
Like on the
with
people?
a parachute,
Oh.
and they would
Yeah.
land.
Drop on the people. That's where the
some guy
cartoons
runs
came
up.
from.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
But it was like specially made.
Like with the green
Pianos,
paint
like
and
with the special green paint that's like
Yeah.
the standard use of the army, and they had like supports underneath so that when it landed it wouldn't like strap like all the wires and stuff wouldn't
Yeah.
break, so that the army guys could go there and like 4 guys could just pick it up, bring it over to the camp, and then they have a piano for some entertainment.
Just always playing cantina music.
Yeah.
and then you could drop it on Japanese guys.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
There's some
instead of
army
bombs,
guys
like if they ran out, you can
who
just
were
push
like-
a couple out.
They were professional musicians before the war, and then they're like in there like, I haven't touched the piano in 5 years.
Isn't that like the plot of a movie? Isn't that the plot of The Pianist?
Imagine knowing that your great
Is that a
grandpa
piano?
died from the Germans dropping a piano on him. They're like,
can later be
Like, he went out as a noble soldier. You're like,
And then the great grandson's like, I want to learn how to play piano. And Dad slaps him like, we're never learning piano in this house ever again.
Yeah, but
And then there's a
And
small
that's-
town that like doesn't allow piano playing.
just I can imagine a skit.
piano. Everyone plays guitar.
I can imagine a skit where like an SS officer walks in the Fuhrer, like, Fuhrer, like, they've been dropping pianos. He's like, we must double the efforts. We must drop double the pianos.
There's
Every
a special
piano in Berlin.
Nazi piano, and it has like the swastika on it, and it's all black and sleek.
They will not
It doesn't
humiliate
have
us.
any black keys on it though.
Yeah.
They're all white too. The sharps and flats.
But like his bulldozer, like it could have easily been repurposed into an army tank, or
Well, I mean,
like
I think army tanks are a little better.
yeah, there's those things.
I mean,
those
can you
are
imagine
technology.
Can you
But
imagine
those-
going around a city with an actual
But
tank?
those companies
Yeah.
that make those sort of machines, you know,
Like it's easy to
they can
retrofit.
easily like be like, okay, tomorrow we're just gonna switch like Cat Motor Company or whatever that
to like
Cat
bulldozers
Industries.
and-
Like let's just make.
Do you know who would have loved him?
indestructible
Who would
tanks.
have just like loved him? The Taliban.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
that guy to the Taliban.
One of their own.
Who would have
Oh
loved
my
him?
gosh.
Let's talk about how the governor considered airstriking him.
Yes.
Yeah.
They thought about calling in the National Guard.
They asked him about that recently. He's like, I never did
No, but
that.
then people in his office
like-
were like, no, he for sure considered airstriking. But we just felt like it could hurt like the town. I'm just like, imagine like they're
It's
like,
like
we're gonna
calling
light up
It would
like
cause more
it's like-
damage.
Dude, that's like the
That's
sixth
just
wanted star.
Anti-tank missiles.
That's
No, he was like-
Iron Man.
This dude,
That
That's, Iron
that is
this
a
is a
GTA.
real life
Yeah.
GTA.
Yeah.
Except for he got the 4 stars,
He did get the force.
and he lasted for 2 hours on 4 stars.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
insane.
impressive.
That's impressive.
5th star never came.
He
just 'cause,
only
like,
just logged
Max,
out.
he
is
could
what
definitely
happened.
Max's
He never
respect.
got beat.
You only get the 5th star if you go on an airport or like what is
The
that?
military base.
Yeah, the military
like the
base.
airstrip there.
Yeah, he didn't touch the military,
What
so he
you-
didn't get the 5th star.
In the next GTA, I want to be able to totally customize all my vehicles to the point where I can turn
Make
any
a
bulldozer
Killdozer.
into a
Killdozer.
Killdozer.
That would be pretty
So-
cool.
That would be
They
sick.
had so many different ways they tried. I also like the times where they like took other construction equipment things and like just went head to head with them. Did you see that?
Yeah, I read that
He
too.
knew his construction. He was like he went through. It's
Oh,
like on
yeah.
Mario Kart when
Yeah.
you're looking at all the different cards. He was like designing. it.
Yeah.
He's like
There's
it
some
has to be
great
able to
parts too.
have
I think the sheriff just rode on top
Yeah,
of it
he
for a
climbed
while.
on
Yeah.
top of
He
it.
said he rode it like a fucking Bronco.
Yeah, they threw like a flashbang down one of the.
It was like an air conditioner.
I almost said exhaust port, but it's not a spaceship. They threw it down like one of the
The
holes and nothing
exhaust
happened.
port.
And
It's
nothing
the Death
happened.
Star.
He's like, it's only the size of like a swamp rat.
But you're totally right. Like I can see him building. He's like faster than a forklift, stronger than a bulldozer.
It was like real life battle bots for a second there.
I wonder.
Bro, BattleBots is sick, but also like, do you guys remember hearing about that when you were younger? And you're
Oh
like,
yeah,
holy shit, battling robots, and then it's just like
you see the
gay
guys.
little robots with
Yeah.
blades on them. It's like,
Did you ever watch Big Hero 6? And then like he goes to one of those things.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
has, like the little cute one that like moves around.
In the
that has
beginning?
detachable parts.
yeah,
And it like goes inside the other machines and like tears it apart.
Yeah, dude.
That's what I would love to see. Like someone show up with something really technologically advanced to one of those.
robots
robot
is one of those
battle
things that
bots
just feels like every robot I've ever seen in my life was just a disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, a relief because you're like, this thing's not taking over.
But like kind of going back, so how the story ended is he got stuck. Do you think if he didn't get stuck in the basement, he probably could have like, because they literally had nothing to stop him. Like, do you think he could have?
His
finished?
engine was going by then though.
Oh,
There was a
really?
lot of smoke coming out of it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
eventually,
well, yeah, he busted his
eventually would have ran out of gas.
Gas.
Yeah.
Like, do you think he would have like hit like his whole like shit list?
I think he pretty much did. I don't know like who else would have been on it. 'Cause he got it. I mean he
Some of them were
overachieved.
like personal vendettas, and he was gonna go like houses.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't consider it. I mean, just for his sake, I wouldn't consider it like a failed thing. Like I think he
He had
Yeah,
Coldplay,
I think
so he
succeeded.
did. He had
Yeah.
Coldplay on there, which I didn't think he was ever gonna get to.
Yeah, he
And it's
did.
just Coldplay. I wasn't sure if he meant the whole band.
I'm going to LA after this.
On the freeway.
He's like, this is what they get for Milo Zeidlo.
I think one thing he did miss, he was going to hit a Burger King because he said McDonald's fries are way superior.
You know what, dude? I support him. If he destroyed a Burger King, I'm on board with the whole movement.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the town would have forgiven him at that point.
They were.
They're like, wait. They're like, yeah. They're like picking him up. Hooray!
After they demolished the
sheriff.
Burger King, they put up a McDonald's. It's like, yeah.
The sheriff hands him a badge, like, you're one of
Yeah,
us
you're
now.
deputized.
Like they named the building after him. You know, like
The Marvin J. Heemeyer McDonald's building. He's like, this is the man who saved this town from the clutches of Burger King.
Okay, on the flip side, though, how much tourist, like, attraction would it have been if they had kept it?
Oh.
They didn't keep it? I don't
No,
No, they
no.
forced it
Afterwards,
out.
they were like, I hate the townspeople.
The townspeople
They seem like a bunch
suck.
of pussies.
I-
No, they're just sitting around. They're like,
extremely lame.
it's like they destroyed. Yeah, he destroyed the town. No one died though, and they're all just like, what he did was so terrible. We don't think we're gonna like keep it or like use it. We want to tear it apart.
Yeah.
Just like,
And they didn't even do anything cool with the parts.
You
They
know
just
what
like
would
send
be
them to
hilarious?
factories.
I can say this confidently, though. If I lived in that town while it was happening, I would have thought it was funny at the time.
I know.
Like, I know I would be like, this is awesome.
If
Are you
someone-
kidding me?
I
Like,
wouldn't
are we
have to-
living in a simulation? A guy is driving a modified bulldozer and just tearing shit down. That would be
Also, they were all the news reports are all worried, like, oh my gosh, she's gonna go like hit the library with all the kids in it, and it shows the news footage, and it's like there's like officers walking next to it,
yeah.
like
Yeah. It almost looks like they.
the guy
It
just
almost
like
looks like
pulls
they're
out his pistol, like
escorting
fires
it.
Yeah.
with them.
He's like, guys, 9mm are ineffective.
All the cops line up in a row and they're like,
You know what'd
ready,
be funny?
fire!
they were kind of. Dude.
Yeah,
There
they
was a
really
guy,
were.
they got a 50 cal, and they shot it like right into the side, did nothing.
You know.
Also, they're
you know,
shooting
he-
at like
he
the big
incited-
that's-
steel part.
It
It's
seems
what are
dumb,
you
like
doing?
with ricochets, by the way.
Yeah.
You gotta like go for the joints, like in the middle.
Go for the
and stuff.
tracks, dude. This is what I don't understand. You get a stick of dynamite, throw it in the track.
Yeah, sticky bomb.
Done.
Literally,
Oh,
none of us seen Saving
Just
Private
call it the
Ryan.
local
honestly.
dynamite store.
The local dynamite store. Walk in.
Yeah, like what were they trying to like go on the
Yeah,
top?
you just
Like,
build a
it's totally
sticky
different.
bomb, throw it on the
Go,
tracks.
yeah.
I thought that too. I
You
just
know
thought
what
it'd
they
be
should have
funny.
done? I mean, it's a small town. They should have called up all the rednecks and like, hey, get your chains, bring your trucks.
Yeah.
And like just do like basically like a pull off, you know?
Yeah.
They're, like almost like a competition. They hook
Like,
up like 4
the
trucks and
very
they're just all just
beginning,
like burning tires.
Yeah, dude.
The very beginning of Thor 1, where they're all like
Exactly.
They're like out on the ground, and all these hillbillies like they go out there with their trucks. And
That's what it should have been.
It's exactly like that.
You know what would be funny is put the like the overhead helicopter footage of the Killdozer, but speed it up and put that one.
whole layout, like his path. Like I want a map of the city and just see where he was.
His
going.
path of destruction.
Yeah.
What if you
Where's
realized
the
he was
map?
spelling something out?
It would spell you can't plant cement.
He's going crazy. He's like, you can't. He's like in his dark thing
it's
building,
a
and he's
joke.
like, you can't plant it. Why do they have a plant?
It's a joke.
There's like pots and like soil everywhere.
He's like, I tried every formula.
Do you
I
think
can't-
it's
I
funny
can't
to
plant it.
bulldoze all these buildings? Yeah,
I
I do.
I'm tired of pretending that it's not.
Yeah. This was a fun one.
This was a good one.
It was a fun
It was
one.
a
It's
wild-
fun because nobody died.
Yeah.
If this was like, yeah, he killed like 120 people, then you're like,
Yeah.
Not
Then
fun.
it would have been a little too dark.
It did have a pretty tragic ending with him taking his own life.
it did. But like Junior said, he killed the
Because
man.
he seemed like a nice guy. I don't know. Everyone
It's-
said he was a nice guy, except
Everybody
for the
said he was a
concrete
nice
people
guy.
and the government officials, which...
Man, what
Colorado
a
was fun.
what a wild ride.
It's a wild ride. It's like he's the negative version of Bob the Builder.
Nega Bob.
Mega Bob.
Can we destroy it? Yes, we can.
So let's go over what's going to be our rating of this lovely Wikipedia article.
Yeah, what do you guys rate it?
Are we
This
filming
was
again?
great.
Yeah, we're going again.
Honestly,
Sorry, I
this was great.
disappeared. Sorry, I disappeared.
You vanished for a second, dude.
I was just like,
And you got AirPods.
I went into a fugue state.
He put in his AirPods and had to go take a walk.
and then he was like,
Yeah, you know how AirPods just like take you out
Some
of
people called him
everything.
about some investment opportunities.
You guys know that 2000s hip hop dance group Jamiroquai? That started playing in my AirPods, and I just fugue. I don't remember anything, but I know I was dancing.
Yeah.
yeah. You have to give yourself some space.
So
Okay.
what would you guys rate it?
So I selected the article.
You go first.
Little biased.
We'll go like this.
Bias, I give it a 9. I really like the article.
All right. 9. This is gonna be an interesting score then, because I think.
I am gonna give it a 6, and I'm probably
Wow.
thinking along the same lines as you.
Okay.
I think it has the potential to be a 9 or 10 in my book.
Yeah.
It feels like it was written by the mayor.
Like the biasness of it is what brings the score down.
That's
Yeah.
why. And there's
It
not
doesn't-
enough detail.
It doesn't feel.
Yeah, I guess my
That's
rating
true.
is based on kind of like my thoughts
The
with
content.
the article,
Yeah.
not with the actual like content. Because
I think that's valid too.
it's-
I think
I
it's a
mean-
way to do it.
I'm able to like see through the bias. You know,
Yeah.
it's pretty. It seems pretty biased. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, and I watched a YouTube video on it, and then like
Yeah.
just the idea, I give it a 9. But it's like
Sometimes
the actual
story-
Wikipedia article, the read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a lower. Like,
Yeah, but I think you can rate it whatever way you want, and it'll even out because there's 5 of us.
yeah, I'll give it a 9.
Yeah. I love it.
I think I'm gonna give it a 7. I was thinking 7, 8 because I'm right there with you, where it's like, it's good. The story's freaking amazing, but there's times where you're reading the wiki article and you're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then you go outside and you're like, oh, this is what's happening. It's just like not written. very
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I agree.
I really liked it, honestly. Like, it was just so out there that I didn't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And it was better than I, anticipated. Honestly, I'd probably give it an 8.
No, I'd say a 7. I'll agree with Alex.
Okay.
Like
So-
I liked the presentation. Like, even though it was a little biased, I sort of liked how the article like moved forward. But I'm just like, I don't know if I would have read into this if you guys hadn't all been reading it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not super interested in like local town. Like, this dude
Yeah.
did this.
So that's a combined rating of 7.4. So
Yeah.
it's
Now-
the highest ever.
Sweet.
New MVP article.
MVP.
New
New number one.
New best article.
Even though I packed the stats with my 9.
You can do that.
No, you can do
There's
that.
nothing against that.
We probably should get a rating from Braden as well, because I'm assuming he read it. I just don't know.
Yeah.
We can ask.
He
Yeah,
could
we'll
make- he's
ask
at a
him.
We can
wedding.
add that into our total. I didn't rate last week's episode though.
You didn't
so
rate last
I
week's
think it might
episode.
just be whoever's here.
Yeah.
I think it's whoever's here, man. You snooze, you lose.
Yeah, you snooze.
So
You,
let's
you
talk
snooze,
about
you miss out.
what we're gonna
Oh, yeah, next week.
read next week.
I think Malcolm's presenting it, so.
The Chimp War in
The Gombe.
the Gombe Chimp
Gombe
War
Chimp.
Or in Tanzania.
in Tanzania, in like a national preserve or whatever animal reserve in Africa. Chimps had a war, and it completely changed the way we think that their brains work.
Yeah,
Really interesting.
apparently chimps form into. They
Chimps
form
get
into
revenge.
gangs. They form into gangs. They hold grudges. They're just kind of like not good people when it comes to morals. I mean, they're, they're chimps.
One could
They're
say
not
that
good.
they're chimps.
They're like us without any of
Without the
human
Bible.
aspects.
Without the Bible.
Without the
No, they don't.
They
No,
just
but
rely
like
on science.
chimps get revenge and like torture chimps and kill
I
them
don't
for.
trust a chimp, dude.
Dude,
and
like,
like brutalize other chimps.
Yeah, well, like a lot
chimp
of the
colony?
time, like, and this is just not to go too far into it before next time, but a lot of animals, like, they basically until this happened, we thought animals only kill for food. Humans are the only things to kill out of anger and. But in this chimp war, chimps just like killed and they wouldn't just eat them or anything, just kill them, like as an intimidation tactic and stuff.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's
I'm excited.
They're
It's gonna be
entering
sweet.
their Stone Age.
Interesting.
Also, they were using tools and they built like
Did they build a
slingshot.
Killdozer?
they
Yes.
built a custom bulldozer. No, but it's really, it's really like
I'm excited.
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
That'd
So,
be sick,
so
dude.
next week's gonna be awesome.
And you might need to cut this, but and then cut to us laughing.
That moment exactly.